Christina Universe Citizen presents New Era Religion, Episode 92, July 26, 2022. Reality and love as an integral integrity. Our anticipatory design science realities now include the future prospects of metaphysical intellect's intention to design Planet U. This is as a potential realization function of universe. Metaphysical intellects, predominantly metaphysical objectives, in this entire regard, comprise the individual economic initiatives which also anticipate realizing a true democracy in the universal communications process. Such a design incentive has been a long time coming to the contemporary generation that is now synergetically informed and whose humanity recognizes anticipatory design science realities can be conceptualized within the contextual Planet U. Planet Earth's 10,000 frequency geodesic physical sphere constitutes the already existing prototype, whether or not humans inhabit its entirely physical environments. We could therefore say Planet U's Utopian unity induces us, our contemporary humanity, a unique evolution intelligent species in universe, to differently employ geometry and topology with a synergetically informed awareness of E in mind. E involves many useful reminders for our individual economic initiatives as we live a whole lifetime on planet Earth. The E for Earth and economics also represents the E for energy, everyone, experience, entropy, evolution, religion, equilibrium, equanimity. The synergy of E in omnirationally conceptual universe can be associated with omnipresent gravity's integrity as an integral, timeless, eternally instant, shadowless phenomenon that is innocent of waves with least angular aberrations. We are learning that gravity is universe's geodesic most economical relationship between events. Gravity's omni-embracing relativity varies to the second power and has been overlooked by histories of misdirecting educators whose focus is conducive to the PRJWBCS slave mentality conditioning. Consequently, we were not informed of this integrity before synergetics. In every correlation to anticipatory realities, we knew approximately nothing of gravity as a metaphysical conceptuality respective of observed and anticipated events, that our information gathering, local problem solving human nature intelligently considers and reconsiders correlating to survival in a world that can work for everyone. The integrity of gravity is conceptual, independent of whatever might be the eventing's size, time size. Realizations of relevant generalized principles as E equals mc to the second power and E equal 2v to the second power inspire metaphysical intellect as a function of omni-rational universe to integrate the most economical relevant degrees of freedom that now include gravity as a spherically circumferential force correlating to awareness of generalized principles. The eternally coexisting generalized principles were unknown to the earlier humans on planet Earth's always partially overlapping generations. Descendant populations of those people comprise our globally situate humanity today, most of whom tend to follow traditions of permitted ignorance. The womb of permitted ignorance emanates and regenerates precepts and false premises that omit, by inherited default slave mentality conditioning, the science and technology referenced terminology. The earlier humans relied on scribes, as our humanity does today. The scribe writes its interpretation of human events that can intentionally or inadvertently interfere with the natural course of energetic synergetic scenario universe by introducing more irrelevance. This continues to be the case as trendy interpolations are selected as emulations and explanations for interrelationships that can further involve asymmetries of the powerfully positioned PRJWBCS, politics, religion, justice, war, belief, complex schemes. Over the centuries, ancient scribes became contemporary published writers whose once feathered quills have been supplanted by the computer and cell phone keyboard using alphabetic letters, whole numbers, and fractions and various symbols. The universal communications process continues transmitting the written thoughts via interpreting mentalities by self and others. Self and others are sending and receiving relevant and irrelevant information. The internetworking objective is to disseminate content by communicated thought and language as a self-regenerative continuity of coexisting purposes. The differently motivated purposes are always conveyed from self to others and others to self in various degrees of subconscious and ignorantly fearful cautionaries or conscious knowledge in different degrees of competence and various modifications. Individual modifications are accomplished in forward-directed time and ought to be knowledgeable that angles and frequencies are the only two possible covariables that are operatives in all universe design. The logical sense and illogical nonsense by omitting or admitting universe conveys the individual personality's adaptations to the ever inter-transforming environmental human conditions. But because of our humanity's adaptive nature, which can be constrained by languages that are controlled within the PRJWBCS, its authoritative purposes inadvertently strive to regenerate its existence. This is accomplished by cultivating traditions that may selectively discredit scientific words, adding more redundancies, some of which are used by not consciously and more accurately associating the human mind's metaphysical intellect with integral realizations of the generalized principles. Instead, multiplication by addition tends to increase the enormity of the problems and the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation, compared to multiplication only by division, which we are becoming more aware of. Thanks to R. Buckminster Fuller's Synergetics, we are now aware of alternative solutions to what we never thought was possible before, or that we never had given any thought to whatsoever. Gravity, for example, is a commonly referred to phenomenon that rarely, if ever, is correlatively comprehended as a cohesiveness potential of human understanding. Because humans everywhere rely on educations by the PRJWBCS as the trusted default conditioning, we mistakenly assume truth associates more closely to proving and identifying self to the satisfaction of the P factor, the R factor, the J factor, and even the W factor, which typically are sociological, political special cases of the manifest forms. Humans everywhere adapt to the manifest forms. Recently, though, we have learned in Synergetics 543.23 that the truth toward which all experience leads is only a misapprehension of the metaphysical. It never occurred to us before to accredit reality as the absolutely truthful love, because we did not have a model that did not derive from the womb of permitted ignorance. The womb of permitted ignorance tends to control perspective outlooks from selected histories of humans on Earth. Such inaccurately motivated perspectives, in turn, tend to remain ignorant of the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and more dimensions. PRJWBCS perspectives typically represent the three-dimensional reality. This continues to be the case with nary a thought of associating awareness of dimensions as unique frequency information and the individual wherever the individual economic initiative is involved. Now we know, as we can read in Synergetics 527.07, that, in quotes, all dimensions are definitively and intercoordinatively manifest in the isotropic vector matrix. To be continued in Part 2. Thank you.